Greetings everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a very exciting vlog. There are so many new updates on the old homestead. First things first being, we bought a tractor, hun. I, in one of my last vlogs, was talking about how I had run into a neighbor. Long story short, he was selling a tractor. We bought said tractor. It is a 2006 John Deere, and it's incredible. We got a bunch of different attachments for it, so we can do driveway work with spreading gravel. We got like a gravel big rake. We got a backhoe. There's a bucket on there. There's a wench. We got a snow blower. Finley has been absolutely obsessed with her working on the tractor literally every single day since it was purchased, and we are just over the moon. Those of you who have been watching for at least the past year, you know how much we have wanted and needed a tractor for this property. So this is all to say, talk to your neighbors and know your neighbors, okay? Check in, chat about your lives. You never know, you might find a tractor along the way. But I'm gonna be showing a couple of different projects in this video other than the tractor work, which is just gonna be, I mean, yeehaw, honey, you gotta buckle up to see all that. That's gonna be later. But first, let's talk about the HVAC renovation. For those of you who maybe missed one of my past vlogs, Finley has been redoing our HVAC here, mainly because there were a couple of key issues. One, there were no heat vents on the second floor above us, which is where our main bedroom and our bathroom are. So ever since it's become a little bit chilly, we've just had a space heater in our room, which is fine for right now, supplementing, but obviously it would be fantastic to bring central heat to the second floor. And then also there were 4 vents pre-existing, and they were just in the stupidest places. And having 4 vents for the size of our oil furnace was just insane. It was such a small use of the massive furnace. There's just a lot of issues that come along with having basically undersized or unutilized amounts of vents. Like, it can damage your furnace if your furnace isn't using the optimal amount of heat that it's like projected to use. So we had 2 vents in this room. Now we have 4, and then we had 2 vents in the wing, which we are keeping, but he's going to relocate them, which he'll talk about in this video.
Flashback. Just don't look at my face if you can avoid it. Would be much appreciated. If you're designing stairs ever, by the way, and you're like, oh, to go up the stairs, the person will have to go like this to not hit their head and still hit their head a little bit, you did something wrong. Think about it again and do it differently. That's my advice. I still have a good amount of work to do with the HVAC, but I'm pretty happy with the progress I've made. It hasn't been overly complicated. I mean, I had an HVAC friend help me get over the hump, but after talking to him, I was like, all right, I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of this, and the work itself has been pretty manageable with these flex ducts and stuff. It's been a good little venture. I may start working on the bedroom section today. The 8-inch flex duct, which this is like, I mean, that's big. I mean, I could basically fit my whole head in there. I got a pretty big head. So that gives you an idea of what kind of size I'm working with. So I'm gonna have to build out a little space that doesn't look hideously ugly. I'll be honest, I'm still a little, there's a reason I'm doing everything else first. I don't really know how I'm gonna approach that. I mean, I do, but I'm nervous. I wanted to say, I'm so proud of myself, because do you remember when I was putting in the garbage disposal and I had to wire a switch? I had to cut through the wall, and I was so nervous to make holes in the wall. Now I'm like, take me to the center of the most important room in my house and I'll cut a 10 by 10 hole in that floor, and I don't even give a shit. Really making some confident strides in my ability to dive headfirst into some of these more intimidating projects, which is good. Maybe I'll do a little filming of me in action with some of this stuff now that I've got mad skills and updated approaches. End of flashback.
But probably the most stunning and amazing project that he did, and I just like, I'm looking at it right now and I can't believe that he built it, and it just looks like it's so seamless for the home. But he had to basically hide the shiny silver ducting that was going up to the second floor of our house.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
Hello, it's Lord Farquaad here. This has been a super important addition here to get heat up to the second floor. So this is the 8-inch flex duct coming up. It splits here with a 6-inch reducer going up into the floor vertically into the little closet space, and then it comes across, reduced to another 6-inch flex. That's what's above me. and then goes up into the bedroom right there. In the upstairs, over here in the bathroom, we have one register down there by the toilet. That toilet's gonna stay where it is because that's how the plumbing's set up, even after I renovate, so I feel that corner is a safe place to put the register. I won't need to move it later. The more effective register in the bedroom will be right there. This is just about the center of this whole space, so that's pretty perfect. Pretty easy not to have anything covering that. Even if I get a different nighty-night table or something like that, I'm still pretty confident that that register will be unobstructed. And then the last register is in that back corner. As far as the way the ducting all set from downstairs, that's just sort of the way it needed to be. Otherwise, I'd need to build a whole way bigger box. It would have been really ugly. So either way, just, you know, keep in mind when you're gonna get on your little keyboard warrior criticisms, okay, everything I'm doing is based off of what was here before, which was dumb and stupid and bad. So it's like, okay, sure, could Finbad Legend of the Seven Seas be doing a little better? Yes. Could I be doing worse? Yes. Because this is just 6-inch, not 8-inch, it's much skinnier circumference to the tube. So I should be able to just box this in pretty easily. You know, I can compress the insulation. I'm not too worried about the R value. But essentially I can go like flat across there and then just a quick vertical L, and I think that'll get the job done. It's a little more finicky, so I built this thing in the hopes that it allows me to kind of frame out something to screw onto. I'm about to set that up and see how that looks. I'll show that to you in 1 sec.
Look at that. That's the start of something mediocre. Nice mediocre fix to a mediocre problem.
What's up? It's cool guy Randy here, your local HVAC tech. Just doing a little carpentry, actually, now that I think about it. So now I'm gonna try to frame out the little box around this thing. I'm just using old trim I ripped off from upstairs in the bedroom. Gonna frame that out, then just coat this boy in some mahogany stained knotty pine, everybody's favorite. Hey, it's Randy again. So I finished my framing here. Everything's a little woogly in this house, so some of these things are gonna come out a little woogly when all is said and done. Somebody zoom this camera in. Now that's how my wife likes it. Here's my little example to you. This is unfinished. That's what it'll look like finished. It's gonna be nice to have this lighter paneling for the vertical section, and then up here it'll be a horizontal piece that's similar to these. Ideally, this house would look even better after I was finished than when it didn't exist at all, plus functionally better. So after many, many days of work, I don't want to dramatize it. It wasn't that many, but it took a while. I think it honestly looks pretty good. I think it adds to the room.
So that's kind of the bulk of it right there. That's where the big 8-incher comes up through the floor. I feel like it looks really nice having those diagonals going into the straight. This is what it looks like from the other side. So I left those blank, then I just covered up where it's relevant. It's where one of the duct boots is. In this corner I did the same. You can't see it much because it's shadowed, but a duct boot comes up there, so that just kind of covers that up. I ended up adding a lot of trim to kind of make this look nicer. There was a lot of weird seams here. I messed up. This shouldn't be 2 pieces, that should be 1, but I just didn't want to redo it, so it is what it is. But you know, I just added this trim, helps it blend a little bit. You know, I know looking close this looks like shit. You know, obviously this is not high quality carpentry work, but for the purpose it needed to serve, I feel it blends into this house well. I spent $0 on this project. Reuse all stuff I've torn out of this house. So
these are the kind of projects where, like, if I bought all of this stuff new, it starts to really add up. It's hard. Like, I can't really estimate how much this would cost, but it's always more than you expect. This was another late decision, but that trim across there, you know, I already had it, so it's like, why not? That helped hide all those gaps. There were some uneven lines over here, so just kind of covered it up. The only part that's really f***ed, in my opinion, is right here, because it's not a square box, so you can see that it's, you know, off. I just couldn't think of a good way to fix it, so it is what it is. I'd call this a success. Pretty happy with it.
We hope you enjoyed this brief construction montage.
He built a big box system to cover up all of this duct coming up from the basement, going up one vent into the closet, one vent into our bedroom. This other vent is going into the bathroom, and you can see that exposed duct is still there. But this is inside of our cleaning closet, so we don't care to cover that up. But seriously, like, if you're just looking over here, you're like, oh, I can barely even tell that anything's there. It looks like it was always built into this house. So that was his goal, to basically add to the character of the home rather than putting this like massive ugly thing in one of the most utilized rooms of our house. Oh, seriously. seriously, can't thank him enough. It was a massive project too, because it's one of those things where you have to research a lot. So luckily, one of our buddies, he is an HVAC technician, and Finley like got on a call with him and showed him the whole system and got a bunch of tips and tricks and, you know, the go ahead to do a DIY HVAC renovation in our house, which, you know, 5 years ago, I would never have pictured him doing that. But when in Rome, you can learn anything online, folks. So that's great news that we are going to have our oil furnace bringing heat to different parts of the house, because we do have a wood pellet stove in the wing, but it doesn't really disperse the heat completely into this room. But that's actually how we've been heating the whole house right now, just with the wood stove and the trickling in heat from it, because we can't turn on the oil furnace yet because of a past flop that the previous owner did. I don't know why he did this, but he was sharing a chimney, which you're not supposed to do. One chimney should be for one purpose. So with the chimney from our oil furnace down in the basement, the previous owner decided that it might be a great idea to bring heat to the basement. At face value, that's not a bad idea, but he brought down a wood stove, and then instead of just building the wood stove its own chimney, he said, what if I rigged up a system that was not up to code in any way, shape, or form, and I had this wood stove share the chimney with the oil furnace? As you can probably tell, there was indeed a chimney fire, which we didn't know about until we had chimney sweepers out at the end of October. And they were here to service and sweep the wood pellet stove furnace in the wing over here, and then also the oil furnace chimney. And they basically looked in the oil furnace chimney and they said, hey, legally, we cannot sweep this for you. You cannot use this. It needs to be completely rebuilt. But all of the chimney sweeps and chimney repairmen are completely booked out. Obviously, it's fall and winter. It's their main season right now where everybody's like, I need to have my chimney swept or whatever. So they're completely booked out until spring. And they were like, yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard for you to get it serviced. And Finley said, how do you guys feel about me doing it myself if I were to rebuild these chimneys? And they were like, I'm not going to tell you that you can do that. It's your home, but I would just extensively research it, call some professionals, you know. So he did that, and he did a bunch of research, and we currently have a bunch of boxes here of chimney parts. This is all to rebuild not one, but 2 chimneys. So after we had that conversation with them about the oil furnace, chimney, fire, flop, they were like, also your wood pellet stove, we did sweep it, but it doesn't have a proper clearance from the roof that it needs to be up to code. This is just one of 5,000 things that the previous owner did at this house, where we just have to shake our fist at the wind and say, why? And then deal with it. So that was not great news. Rebuilding both of those chimneys is going to be a big project that Finley has to do, obviously safely. And I have a lot of anxiety around that. Any kind of like exterior work where there's a fall risk, I obviously am like, please don't do that. But then we also need heat. So to do it the most safe, we discussed possible options. One, having a spotter, just keeping an eye on things. But then also, instead of doing it on a ladder, he's going to be renting a boom, which he will show you guys, I'm sure. You can do boom rentals, which is, a boom is basically like this big thing where you can stand in like a sort of kind of gated off safe area and extend yourself up to a different story of the home. And obviously rentals like this are a big fee. So he's going to have to rent it early in the morning, tow the boom back here, and do all of the chimney rebuild, hopefully within 1 day. So I don't know if that will be in this video or the next video. It'll probably be in the next video because this one's already pretty long. But yeah, it's a big job, big task. And this is one of the things where like we would have really hired it out had people been available earlier than spring, but they aren't. So we're just gonna kind of work with what we got, because we need the heat to work. And we don't want to burn the oil furnace now that we know that there was a chimney fire in there. Not from us, but from the previous owner. Anyway, there's lots of things to do in this video and lots of things to chat about, and I hope you enjoy.
What's up? It's Lord Farquaad here. I've got 2 more steps to my HVAC work before I retire as an HVAC professional. That is running the vents, putting 2 registers in this wing area, and then I need to rebuild the chimney, which I am not excited about.
So there's 1 register here and a second register over here. This is entirely unnecessary because there's so much heat right here. So what I'm gonna do is move this register over here to this side of the wall. And then instead of moving this register right here, I'm gonna go ahead and move it over here, but I'm gonna be conscious of that joist and make sure that it's far enough this way that if I did decide to move that wall under the joist, that wouldn't be problematic. Both these registers are running off of one 6-inch flex duct. So that's wrong, that's not good, but it's what I have. I'm excited for retirement, frankly. HVAC is cool. Not as cool as electrical, probably cooler than plumbing. I just have a couple more vents to connect here, but this is a challenging area because this is where the bathroom plumbing will be. Probably can't see it, but maybe you can. There's a screw right up there. That's where the toilet waste pipe is gonna come down. So that waste pipe is probably gonna come right about here. You know, this can kind of flush up against there. No problem, it's gonna work just beautifully. And then that runs over. I had to cut a hole in my little beautiful wall here I made. Then I just had this last one. So really no problem, you know. If you want to do HVAC, man, as long as you have a friend to help you who knows what they're talking about. That was my big advantage here. Now I just have to do the harder parts, like rebuilding my chimney, and I think that's about it. Pretty close here.
Another new addition to our home is this insane cabinet that I showed you guys at an antique store in a past vlog. I think it was my main vlog, but it's so amazing. I got this at Distinctive Decor in downtown Brattleboro, and it came with this, which is like the original ad, which is super cool. So you can tell that there are some pieces that need to be added back on because it does not look like this. Also, there's a damaged handle here, so they gave me some handle replacements, either these two or those two bigger ones down there. And then these wood pieces here are all of the pieces that need to be added back on to like the sides over here. And then on top, there's like a bigger piece that will go up there. I think it'll fit. And then I got some of this neutral Restore finish to sort of buff out these blemishes. I actually didn't know that this cup ring was even here because there was a like big bowl on top of this when I first saw it displayed in the store, which is fine. Like obviously they would hide something like this, but when I brought it home, I was like, oh, but it does need to be restored, not stripped. But oh my God, the attention to detail on this cabinet is just wild. It's an antique German oak hunt cabinet. And I also haven't been able to use the key to open these yet. Like it's just not budging when I try to open them. So in this vlog, I'm gonna try to sort of restore this, and then I'm going to have my record collection down here stored on these shelves. So I did a big like vacuum out of these shelves, and there was also kind of this like deteriorating white paper that the previous, you know, owner of this cabinet had put down. And I think I could use the Restore finish in here if I wanted to sort of spruce up this wood, but also it's just gonna be covered with vinyl. So I don't really know if that's worth the time for me. Maybe. My ideal is to put my record player on here in the center with the two speakers, maybe display like whatever album I'm playing back here on this like China display bar, and then store all my vinyl down here, because this setup has not been working out for a hot minute now. So I have not only this record rack entirely full, but also this stack of records here and that whole thing of records there. So we're gonna figure out a proper way to do this. I've been kind of vacuuming out this piece and trying to get it a little bit cleaner, but all in due time, hun. But just wanted to show it to you because it is amazing. Hey, just popping in, not to burst my bubble or anything, but I have learned some things since filming this. So the Restore finish that I got is in no way a low VOC product. So I basically can't use it because then it will just gas out that entire room, like the entire wing, with fumes. And we all spend a lot of time in there. Finley pointed out to me that the bottle says that it's 350 per liters of VOCs. And for reference, a high VOC product is 250. So I think I'm just gonna return that product and not do anything to it other than just deep clean it, because my record player is probably going going to cover up that little ring on the top of it anyway. And also, if I used that product, the Restore Finish, in one area, I would have to use it everywhere. And being a carved antique cabinet with lots of crevices, like all the little cracks that make it unique, it would just need so much product. And it would turn into one of those projects, like once you start using it, you have to finish because there will be like a dry time and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I actually decided I don't want to do that. And the better idea for me would be to do nothing. So we're gonna do that today. Just clean it and then put my record collection in there. Okay, sorry for the sound of the pellet stove, but I have cleaned it and it's looking even better. So I actually had to get Finley to open the 2 cabinets up here. This one does not open at all. So that's unfortunate, but I tried to get in there and clean those shelves as best as I could. I vacuumed, I polished, I did all the things. And the wood down here is just a little bit raw and obviously unfinished. But like I said, there's just gonna be vinyl all over there, so I don't really mind. I'm just gonna organize my vinyl collection because it's not currently alphabetized because I have all of these records that are like not stored in the system that I originally had. But I cannot even explain to you how happy and excited I am to get my records out of this shitty rack from Urban Outfitters. No offense to Urban Outfitters. I just feel like I've needed a bigger setup for a really long time now. So I'm excited, y'all. It's looking incredible. Everything I ever wanted and more. Just still have to put those pieces on and switch the handles and sort my records, but I did get everything all set up here and it's just looking so good, the setup. And then I also put my CDs behind here because I honestly don't really play my CDs very often. I got rid of a ton of them, but these are the ones that I ended up keeping, and I'm just gonna put those on display back there, at least for right now. I could always put them in a drawer or something if I want to do that like vinyl display instead, like I was talking about. Sometimes I see people do like seasonal vinyl displays, which is pretty cute. They'll choose like Christmas records to display or colors to display for the season or something, which is adorable. But I have to go put my baby down for a nap, so I can't sort these right now, but maybe tomorrow.
Later that same evening.
Okay, I'm finally finished sorting for now. I also decided, other than the CDs displaying at the back, I'm gonna display my little painted record from my bestie Abby that I've had since high school. But wow, brothers, this is a lot of vinyl. I am sweating so much. I smell disgusting. Hauling so many of these and organizing them for some reason just made me sweat so hard. Probably because the pellet stove is also on, but wow. I'm going to need to break these up. I basically just, you know, even them out so that this thing wasn't completely one-sided and weighted like to the left. But I'm gonna need some like organizer splitters because, I mean, some of my most prized possessions, like my entire Mac Miller record collection, goes to here, and they're all kind of squished, you know? So I'm just really trying to decide what I want to do. I know my sister has like purse organizers that she split her vinyl up with, so we're gonna see what we can do. But yeah, so far, so good, looking great.
Early the next morning.
My first project with the tractor is building a place to store the tractor. So I thought this would make a nice little area for a little shed roof style extension, kind of porch roof, shed roof, overhang, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna make the height about 8 feet above the ground on this side, and then I think it'll be close to like 12 feet over there or something like that. And I'm just gonna try to get some dirt to level this out. I'm not sure how that's gonna go because I just don't have any experience with the tractor whatsoever. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna pull dirt from, how I'm gonna get it there, how anything's gonna work. So pretty ignorant right now, but gotta start somewhere. Once I get it levelish with dirt, I'm gonna buy a post hole digger, then I'll dig my holes, and then I'll probably gravel after that or something. Anyways, just wanted to show you the before. I actually already moved a bunch of shit that was already here, so I could have shown you uglier before, but this is what I got. Hopefully you could hear what I said because it's pretty windy out. The best news is you can see I got a 40 billion foot ladder back there. Well, I'm gonna get a 50 billion foot boom. That's gonna allow me to reach all the way up there. Because I need to take these chimneys down and replace. This one I'm just taking down, putting something much smaller up. The other one I need to replace entirely. I can get up to like 29 feet or something like that in the smaller boom that they rent with nice 4 stabilizer legs on it. It's pretty flat right here. It'll be even flatter when I use it. Up there it's a little uneven, so I'm a little less certain about that. But as far as I can tell, doing it on the, well, this is just impossible on a ladder. Scaffolding seems pretty complicated to me, and the boom is only a little more expensive for a day, so I think I can get all the work done in a day. $380 to rent that boom thing. So, and it's towable. I can just drive it home and then drive it back to Home Depot. So that's my plan. I think that's gonna work pretty well.
I have been slowly chipping away at redecorating our bedroom, not only to fit the crib, which now does fit thanks to my parents. When they visited at the end of October, we reorganized the whole room, moved some dressers around so that the crib can fit now for when she outgrows the bassinet, which she's in now, doing a little independent reading and playtime. But while she's doing that, I'm just gonna tidy up. I have been sort of trying to go through my dresser. Well, not even sort of, I did go through my dresser, and I'm just getting rid of all of the like bras and old socks and all those things for clothing recycling that don't fit me anymore and that I wouldn't donate or sell. I'm gonna link down below a service that I'm gonna use for recycling underwear, bras, and socks. And I'm basically just trying to consolidate all of the clutter in here and then clean it. First things first, this needs a cleaning. Okay, the bedroom progress is coming along very slowly, but at least we're making progress at all. But we are about to leave, actually. We're going to go to a talk on baby-led weaning from my lactation consultant, and it'll be probably for like an hour or something like that, and I told Finley I would just record it for him. He's been truly obsessed with the tractor, working from sun up to sundown out there getting after it. So he's moving the land, and I need to move the car and load her in. But before I go, I'll show you what I'm working on. I've basically been planning out this massive gallery wall to go in this corner space, and I have all of the pieces that I want to put in there and these shelves all in her crib, and it has to be like at least I think 6 inches above the crib so she can't like reach out and grab stuff. So in the next few days I'm just gonna be working on like installing this gallery wall. I have to lay it out on the floor right here and kind of plan. And then I also today ordered 2 kind of glass domes for my fairy furniture. So this room I'm gonna kind of do like a loose little fairy theme. I don't know, just like whimsical little fun touches here and there, which I feel like we've always done. Just kind of like bohemian style, but also lots of plants and hanging things. And that's why it's taking so long too with the gallery wall, because all of my fake plants are in storage and I need to like go and pick out which ones I want to use. Also, I truly cannot wait for my bangs to grow out more. It's just, they're kind of infuriating me. Anyway, let's go.
The next day.
I want to show you a little bit about what I've been doing and sorting around the house. Just clothes and linens for the whole family. This is my big donate box. It has Finley stuff in there as well as my stuff. Last night I went through my bathing suits and just got rid of the ones that don't fit anymore. I was doing that while my mom was on FaceTime doing story time with Corvidia, and she was like, "What are you up to?" And I was like, "Trying on my bathing suits behind the camera." And she goes, "That's always fun." It just needed to be done. Like this summer when I was wearing some of my bathing suits, I was just like, why do I still have this? Like I literally still have my lifeguard bathing suit from when I was 15. It's more for the memes, but it's actually kind of like just deteriorating so much now. I'm like, do I keep it? I don't know. I'm such a sentimental person. Sometimes I'm like, I just need to not do this. But yeah, I'm also kind of like, do I sell this stuff? Like the good stuff? Like I have a Frankie's bikini bathing suit that's not even that old that I might sell on Depop. But then it's like, that's another thing to add to my to-do list is like listing the clothes. So sometimes it's just easier to donate them, especially to, we have a good thrift store in town and they normally take all of my clothing donations that are obviously in good shape. And then if they're not, I look up like clothing recycling programs, like textile recycling. And I'm doing that with this big, I'll just show you. There's a couple of different programs I'm gonna use, but for bras and undies that no longer fit, I'm going to recycle these to Subset. And then these are all Girlfriend Collective leggings and bras that no longer fit. And they actually started like a girlfriend resale program. So I might try to list those on there if I can figure it out. If not, I might just donate these because they're all in really good shape. And then this big bag, which I just need to cut out a little piece of paper and shove a label in here. But this is all twin size bedding as well as queen size bedding because we have both of those beds not set up. They're just in storage. But sometimes when friends come and stay, we have to like set up the air mattresses and stuff. So I just have all of those there. This is the start of a Corvidia storage clothing box for 3 to 6 month clothes that no longer fit her and just some like out of season clothes that she's not going to be wearing this fall and winter. But she's almost 6 months when I'm filming this. She'll be 6 months in a couple of days. So some of those clothes do still fit fit her before she gets into her 6 to 9. And then this is out of season clothes for all of us. I have like the baby Halloween costume. She was a little chick. I have her little bat bloomers and bat hat in here, and some of my like fall socks and my candy corn shirt, stuff like that. And then Finley's summer clothes. Finley's honestly kind of inspiring me to do the capsule wardrobe thing where you like put away your summer clothes, take them out again in the summer, and then you're like, oh, this is so great seeing all my clothes again. But I just hang all of my clothes up year round, regardless of the season. But I'm not doing that right now just because I need to do a big closet clean out of just all of the clothes that no longer fit me. And I'll probably just do like I normally do, like just list all of those clothes on Depop that I clean out in the video, and just getting rid of stuff that's like either not appropriate as a mom now. Like I have some stuff where I'm just like, I just wouldn't wear this anymore. And then two, you know, some stuff just like doesn't fit my chest anymore or my hips or stomach, whatever. And some of the stuff I'm just like, it's better for me to rehome it rather than put it away and wear it in X amount of years when we stop having children. But that just feels so far away to me now. I'm probably only going to be saving certain things like that to put into storage for like later when I'm not breastfeeding anymore, if it's something that's like so sentimental to me that I can't simply get rid of it. Anyway, I'm trying to move all of these things to the storage room because they were just up in the like loft area at the top of our stairs. I had just like some stuff in storage there, but I just need to do a little bit of a clean, you know? Also, we got a clothing rack for coats, and I love her. This is like all my winter gear, like ski bibs and, you know, puffers and stuff like that. All of Finley's jackets go till about here, and then that's all of my jackets and sweaters as well. I know it looks insane because it is a lot of jackets, but I did clear out 4 of them, I think, when I put all of this back up. But I got this like industrial coat rack that can hold up to 400 pounds because we used to have this bar hanging on the other side of this wall right here. And that's where we kept all of our coats. But ever since the bathroom renovation has taken over that space, I'm like, okay, they used to be just like sitting here. All the coats were like draped over the benches. And I'm like, that's just not good for long term as we are getting into fall and winter. You may have noticed that our front door is open right now. It's because it's like 55 out, which is wild.
Meanwhile,
good progress here. It's just a lot of earth to move, you know, much more than I think I anticipated when first looking at the area. I mean, I could have tried to drop down some stuff and level it out like that, but I'm kind of trying to bring it all up to match over here. I just think that makes more sense, and do that across this whole length takes a lot of dirt. You know, trying to create a solid foundation of dirt. Keep in mind, whatever I'm about to say, I actually didn't Google this at all. I don't know anything about what I'm talking about, but the weight of the tractor or whatever would want to just collapse a, you know, a corner out and spread it out, and it's hard to get solid edge. So I built sort of like temporary forms out of big steel poles and some sheet metal and stuff like that, just to kind of like hold the dirt in place, and then put some pressure on it with the tractor and stuff like that to make that more compact. So I have a pretty solid corner out there where the new dirt is the tallest. My mistake was I didn't really do that far out enough to do a full 24-foot run here, because, you know, I'm going to put a post in that corner, and that can't just be like an inch of dirt on one side of it. Like I need probably like 2 feet of dirt on any side of that pole to be firmly placed in the ground. Otherwise the dirt can just kind of collapse out. There's no root systems or anything like that holding this dirt together. So I'll show you over in that corner. I don't know if you can see, but there's some black markings on this wall. That's about where I'm trying to get to. Hi, Larry. Do you like the dirt pile? So fun. So these are the black markings. Over there is a little T mark you can see maybe, and that's 24 feet, and that's where my last pole is gonna be. So having this edge come up short, I mean, I don't really know what I was thinking, but this is my pretty nice corner here. You know, I can stand, oh, okay.
Well, I'm gonna have to build this all out anyways, so that's all right that happened. You can sort of see, I'm just gonna leave that piece of metal there. It honestly helped to just have a bottom corner holder like that. I think I'm just gonna have to drop like probably a shocking amount more of dirt right here to be able to firm this up. But you can kind of see from this angle, camera height is about where I'm trying to get it level to. So I'm getting there, but you know, I should probably fill this area out a good bit. I would like to take dirt from down here, but
I've learned a few things using the tractor thus far. A couple close calls, honestly. One was a fuck up. I was just being too rough with it, I guess, and knocked the whole loader arm out of one end of it, so it all went crooked. That was also because these steel plates needed to be adjusted, so got that back in place and fixed that up, got a tighter tolerance there, so that shouldn't happen again. And I'm being more gentle. I was doing a lot of like kind of almost using the bucket as a bulldozer and digging scoop, and now I'm just backing up using the backhoe to properly loosen up the dirt and then turn it back around. I had that scare with the loader arm, but got that fixed up. What happened to me after that, because I really have no experience with tractors. I mean, I've driven one like once and nobody's really taught me how to use it, so learn as we go here. I had the bucket really full of dirt and I'd been carrying it over high up so I could see kind of under the bucket. You know, there's some sloping here and stuff like that, and got it to the point where the tractor was starting to rock a little bit, like, and that's one of the most dangerous things you could do on a tractor is roll it. So that was a big learning experience for me. Fortunately ended in the easy version. I could have rolled the tractor and that would have been tragic. Now, when I carry a heavy load like that, or really any load, but especially when that bucket's full and there's a lot of weight in there, you know, keep it as low down as possible, low center of gravity, much less likely to roll. Really being conscious about the stakes of working with that many hundreds of pounds of steel. Getting a new couch today.
Just look at her. Oh my God. Here she comes. You want to show them, Rue? This couch I also got at Distinctive Decor, and I found it like a couple weeks after I found the cabinet. And it's like mid-century modern, but it's not so modern that it doesn't fit in with the rustic kind of nature of our home. Obviously, we need to do some shifting around of some things to be able to fit it, and this is not the final vision at all for this room. We're going to be really renovating a lot in here, but we did need a larger couch because we can pretty much only sit two butts on this couch, and with two dogs on there as well, it's just, oh, it's a tight squeeze. So yes, we're definitely going to move some stuff around, but this is the back of it. Also just so beautiful, and it had just been reupholstered. So this was the little tag on it. Beautiful refurbished mid-century day bed. It's very long enough to fit a 6-foot person. Custom reupholstery done just before bringing into the shop. High quality textured fabric, firm cushion, will soften with use, ready for your home. So yes, you can also have people sleep on this if you just remove these back cushions. So it's been really a fantastic addition to the home. Right, Rue? Look at you, my sunshine girl. She's loving it. She loves standing on the back of stuff. Let me know below if you have a dachshund and they do this. They love being big and tall. Wow, dogs. Look at our new landscaped area. Isn't it beautiful? When I came out here, I told Finley, God, I can't wait to replace this siding. It's gonna be so awesome. We just haven't really thought about this side of the house at all since moving in because, I mean, it's not like we spend a ton of time over here, and he's found a ton of just like, well, not only down trees, but pieces of scrap wood and pieces of scrap metal from the roof rebuild and like a ladder and stuff like that. So we're just kind of piling that stuff. And then we've been kind of discussing like what to do. There's another ladder and another piece of roof down there. I think more as like a retainer so that the dirt doesn't escape. But we've been kind of discussing what to do with all of this sort of falling dirt. Are you using those as like retainers?
I was sort of for a little bit.
Yeah. Larry, where are you going? He's just getting some eyes from over there.
Go right here.
The pole?
Yeah, like right here. So
Okay.
let's build this up more.
So you've already told the people about what you're doing.
More or less.
He's got to put some support poles. So are you going to have 4 of them or 2 of them?
3 or 4.
Okay, so we're gonna need to put another pole here, so he has to bring more dirt around. But yeah, if any of you are like landscapers, just let us know. We're talking about making like retaining walls on some of the like dirt mounds on the property. And we were discussing yesterday, I guess the cheapest option would be like cinder blocking this on one side and so all of this dirt could sort of stay in. But then I do see those like lovely terraced gardens full of native plants sometimes on Instagram, and I'm like, that could be nice too, although this is pretty shaded by trees for a lot of the day. I just don't know. Anyway, that's not really what we need to think about right now. It's beginning to be winter. But Finley is going to be taking off this chimney. This is like a basement chimney that the old owner put in, so that will be gone. And then he's going to be rebuilding this one, so he's just sort of leveling out this area. I've never really taken a good hard look at the house from this angle. You're doing really good.
Someone call 911. I think I'm addicted to my tractor.
That's what he said when he came upstairs last night. I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. We've just been waiting so long for her. Have we thought about any names for the tractor yet? Have you been sort of brewing on any? I haven't really been brewing either, but I think
she could be Heather Swanson.
Heather Swanson is actually really great. We'll land on that for now, unless Trash Can Carla comes up with something different. That's Rue's new nickname because she's trying to find all of the trash and the dirt. Trash Can Carla.
Hey, Porta John.
That's her other new nickname, Porta John, because her mouth kind of smells like a Porta John. I know, Rue. Good thing you don't know what either of these things mean. This is some of our old roofing material that we've been using for various projects. I don't know, now that we have the tractor, I'm like, wow, taking a good hard look at the outside of the house. A lot of projects on the horizon. One of my friends at Baby Group, she sent me like all of this stuff that she has on her homestead, and then she followed it up with, but don't worry, you've only been there a year. We've been here for 15. And I was like, that's so nice to hear. Like, don't rush any of your projects or think that you have to like get everything maintained or done. Larry loves Saturdays. Saturdays are for the boys, Larry. 9 years old, still full of life. Isn't it crazy to think that Tika's double his age? Good boy, Larry. Everybody just loves each other. And then Finley's going to be rebuilding this chimney that goes to our oil furnace, and then taking down this chimney that was the old venting, I'm using in quotes because it didn't ever properly vent, but that was for the old propane water heater. I'm wearing Corvidia as a backpack right now. She has her strawberry hat on back there, and she is loving it. Anyway, we're just out here talking about where to pull dirt from next. And like I said, it's kind of too early to talk about like specific landscaping projects, like how they're gonna look at the end of when we're doing all of this, but we're just doing the work now to sort of get it a little more level on the property because there is a lot of big slopes and drops. I'm not really sure if Finley told you about unearthing this boulder, but he was like de-rocking the property before Corvidia was born, and he found this, the top of this giant boulder, and then just started digging, and he did all of this by hand. This was before the tractor came into our lives. Digging and digging and digging away at it, and then he realized that it was a boulder that he could not move on his own. So now we just have this big hole. And we were like, I mean, I guess we can make it a koi pond, but it would be a really weird, it would just be a really weird place to have a giant hole, and now it's a real hazard. Like if we were trying to remove the hazards before, talk about a hazard now, this is a kid trap. Actually looks like a bear trap with all of the leaves in it now. For this project, he's gonna need a lot more dirt, and especially if he levels out this area where the propane tank is as well, to be able to have a flat surface to put the boom to rebuild the chimney on. We're gonna need more dirt to do that. So I was like, you can just take from this hill and we can deal with that later, because it is a weird slope, kind of. Currently, when I'm filming this, which is like mid-November, in southern Vermont, we are in a severe drought. So there just really was not a lot of rain this fall. It's hard to be like, oh, things are gonna get better. You know, we should actually be thinking about things are just gonna get worse. I know that that's not really like a perspective that I enjoy sharing a lot of the time, but when it comes to like landscaping the outside, running a garden, running a hose, because I've mentioned this to you guys before, but we don't have outdoor hoses on this property. Digging lines like that and tapping into the well and using these water sources, it's just going to continue to drain our well, and our well is pretty low right now since we're in a drought. So all of these kind of like terraced garden things, or yeah, using the hills to be able to like accumulate rainwater. If you guys have any recommendations on like books to read about this, I really want to kind of like dive into that aspect of things and prepare for spring when we're like planning more of our outdoor landscaping projects, but I can do all the research over winter. But yeah, our well is really, really low right now. We actually had 2 instances with our major water running appliances, our washing machine and our dishwasher. Both have been kind of malfunctioning lately and not expelling enough water to run their cycles. We found pipes on this property, like these little black tubes, and the previous owner was actually piping water up from the pond on the back acreage up to the house at one point. And our neighbor who we bought the tractor from asked Finley when he came over here, he was like, oh yeah, have you guys ran out of water yet? And literally within 2 days we realized, oh my God, yeah, that's what's happening to our well. So I would really love, because Finley's doing all of the like tractor work and stuff, I would love to do some work on the back end, just sort of researching and figuring out what would be best for maintaining rainwater, which you would never think would be an issue in Vermont, actually, but it is where we live. And it's so crazy because like we used to live in more droughted areas like California and Oregon, and because we never owned the properties that we lived on, I just tripped on acorns. I just never really thought about these things, but now I'm thinking about them for this, long-term property. So just let me know. I think his tractor's sexy. It really turns me on. I'm always staring at him while he's chugging along. There's just something about this image that just really makes me happy. I think if I had to put a finger on it, I'd say it's more of like our fantasies becoming a reality about, being homeowners and doing these big projects ourselves. Hi Ducky, hi Peachy. Let's check in with the girls today. I've honestly been thinking about the pigs so much recently, just because we took our Christmas card photos recently, and it was the first year that we've done Christmas cards that the pigs have not been in them. And I'm gonna start crying. It just makes me so sad to think about. And I'm just in no place right now to like be ready to adopt more animals, like outdoor animals. So like looking at the pen makes me sad. But I guess just when someone you love dies, it's just best to remember the good and happy times and what a wonderful life they lived. But I just miss them. A couple of things on the waterfront, by the way. We're just, employing water-saving techniques in our house right now. Like, if it's yellow, let it mellow. Not running the big appliances like a dishwasher or a washing machine until nighttime. I haven't been taking baths. We're just trying to take quick showers, stuff like that. And we're just hoping that when snow comes, it will help rehydrate the well, which is right here. But yeah, I guess the solution would be digging the well deeper into the aquifer, and that would be, I think, minimum $10,000. So it's not great. We're just hoping that winter will help us. But talking about now with the tractor, the possibilities and stuff, I've talked about this in the past. So we want to put our new front door here. So let me just talk about that. Our current front door is over here. Yes, we need to power wash. Ideally, we want to make like a couple of steps up to an area, have our new front door here, and then have this be like the mud room. This is where like our second table is. So just giving you a picture of things like inside, it's just a bunch of cabinets, and the cabinets end right here. And then ideally we'd like the front door to sort of start here and then, yeah, make this into a mud room. That's down the line, right? But when you are looking out the front door, I would love for your view not to be this. And Finley's been pulling all of the dirt from this giant dirt hill over here, but soon he'll hit tree roots. So that's why I told him to start pulling from a different hill. But in this general area, we've been talking about retainer walls, like the cinder block walls I was referring to earlier, like maybe having a cinder block wall to sort of retain in this area. But what if we did like a 2-terraced one where we could do like terraced gardens? I'll try to put a photo on the screen of what I'm talking about. And let me know if you guys in the comments have different ideas than we do. But that's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. And then having like a log or cinder block or something staircase up here, or I don't know if we'll end up doing that, but kind of just a slope so that you can go up this hill. And then having an orchard on this side, fruit trees, fruit bushes, all that kind of stuff. And then on this side doing raised beds, like probably 10 of them or something like that. And yeah, that's our ideal location because this is all the southern slope that gets the most sunlight during the day. But yeah, obviously we also have like all of these stones that Finley's been pulling. Like our property is incredibly hilly and incredibly rocky. I feel like a lot of Vermont is. We have all of these stones and an old fire pit that we could take from and sort of build that into the landscape as well for a wall. But I would just be afraid about, like, you know, not netting them and then the rocks kind of coming tumbling out, especially if we have heavy snowfall or something like that and the ice melts it and they shift around, and I don't know. We've just been thinking about the inside of the house for so long that now that we have the tractor, I'm thinking about the outside, and the list of projects is never ending. Anyway, I'm gonna go make myself some food.
Just trying to move some mountains out here. Putting this tractor to work, I'll tell you that. This thing had no idea what it was getting into when it moved in. I've been chopping down that hill a lot, and I've brought a lot of dirt up here, but it's just really taking a lot of dirt to level this out. I'm trying to pile more topsoil. You know, a lot of this stuff, that's like inert dirt. That's not growing anything at all. So I'm trying to keep some of the more topsoil that at least could grow some grass in a pile over there so that I can back drag it across to, you know, at least be a minimally thin layer of topsoil. I'm gonna have to amend all this stuff that I jack up like this. I mean, over there it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to grow anything. You know, I'm gonna gravel that, put landscaping fabric down anyways. But over here, you know, I want this all to be grass, so that's gonna take a second level of work. And even more so down here, I've really actually knocked a lot of what I wanted to off of this. You know, I'm gonna keep taking it down, especially trying to kind of smooth this out, take a bite off of this. But again, there's taking down the hump of the hill, and then there's bringing up a little valley pooling area down there. So a ton of dirt has gone down there because there's a good amount of sink right there. And I don't need this to be like perfectly flat, but I'm just trying to get it to be closer to level. You can see my hole is mostly gone. I dragged that. I was gonna film moving this huge ass rock down there, but Meg had the camera. It's amazing how much I just literally took this whole hump off this hill, and then I spent probably more hours just digging this tiny little hole over here, but it's mostly gone. Gonna have to remove that rock, but that big ass rock was like right there. Kind of the last step of what I have right now is I'm collecting all the larger and even a lot of the smaller stones that I find. I'm hoping this doesn't end up being a colossal waste of time and effort, because it really is a good amount of time and effort, but that's a good looking pile of rock. I had a good pile of rock here that I moved over here by hand. This is like 20 times the size. Look at this guy right here and this guy. What interesting rocks. And the woman we ought to thank for it, she's beautiful. Even though it's topsoil, it's still shit, but like it's better than nothing. So I'm trying to sort of save that for after I get a good base here so I can drop it on top. You know, I'm pretty close to having a good base. This is all packed down pretty well because I've driven down this hill like 100 times. And then same with over here where it's this lighter brown. It's really sandy. That's more like sterile dirt, you know, where it's a dark coffee color. That's at least some sort of soil. And I've learned enough about soil to know that there's a big difference there. You don't just turn dirt into soil overnight. Probably set up the camera, show you kind of how I've been doing this a little bit, do some action shots so it's not just me yapping all day, as the kids say. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. I'm not an expert, don't follow me, I'm lost too, but I'm doing my best. So far so good. I mean, I cut a lot of this hill, some big rocks getting exposed. I love those rocks, man. I was probably a geologist in a past life. I need to finish up there today, get that nice and set how I want it. At least, you know, good enough to get my boom up there so I can change that chimney. We really need the rain, so I'm happy about it, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow and the next day, so why not do it till next week? We'll see. Ah! I have a dedicated vacuum. I vacuum my pellet stove out with, so I just dropped the pellet ash. That's not gonna do too much, but can't hurt. I've leveled it out a little bit. I'm assuming this is with the outriggers extended, but I think it's like 11 by 13 or something like that. So really it's out from this wall. I'd like to back it in kind of like this. So out from this wall is probably the skinnier, let's say 13 feet out like this. That's out to about here, where my right hand is. Basically flat out to where I'm standing. Then I still want a slope behind me that I can mow relatively easily. So far so good. I mean, with just a little more cleanup here, I could pretty much already bring that boom thing in here. The chimney on the other side of the house, the max height of that chimney, which I need to get to take it all down, is like the full extension of that boom. So that's gonna be pretty freaky. I'll probably work on this chimney first, get my bearings, and then move to that other area.
Oh my gosh, it's finally raining. Yippee! Also, these 3 giant bags, 4 actually, of trash Finley found buried in the soil when he was doing all of the tractor work. If you treat your property like it's a dump, this is me to you.
Come on, brother.
Also, those chairs that I needed to get recaned that I've been talking about for a couple of vlogs, my great-great-grandfather's chairs, I got them done. Shout out to Sherman Chair Caning. Just truly beautiful work, and I love that she did the like mismatched kind of more greenish, almost like a bamboo looking natural rush for here and then more of a tan here. It's really fun. So I'm going to put these at a little table in the living room, and when they're all decorated and set up, I'll show you them in a future vlog, but I'm just so happy they're done. I've been meaning to get these recaned since I inherited them. When did I get them? I think I got them as a bridal shower gift. So literally it's been 2.5 years of having these in storage, just being like, I'm gonna do that one day. A couple of vlogs ago, I showed you guys a plant flop where somebody had posted a bunch of houseplants for free on Facebook, and I got to them too late and they had all been taken. So tonight I went on Facebook Marketplace, and somebody is selling a bunch of exotic houseplants, like some nice little clippings. They got a little business going for themselves down in Greenfield. So we're gonna head there. We're taking an evening excursion to go pick up 6 houseplants for the windowsill of the bedroom so I can have some joy in wintertime. Something to take care of other than my child. Just a little bit of greenery in the room, I feel like, is gonna be really good. And he's giving them to me for basically like 50% off. So we're just gonna head down there. I told Finley when we were leaving that he needs to get me a bumper sticker that says, "Can't hear you honking, I'm blasted Taylor Swift," because that's what we're about to do for our journey down. Here's my little plant haul. First off, I got a Syngonium. Gorgeous. That's my smallest. That's my smallest plant. And then this is a Pilia Pepe Romeode. Really excited about this one. I love plants like this. We have a Monstera Standleyana albo. Gorge. A Hoya Carnosa Vargata. Really excited about this one. I loved the blonde little streaks in there. It's one of my bigger ones. Speaking of big, here she comes. A golden pothos. I love pothos, and one of my pothos plants is, hey, not doing too good, so that'll be better.
Buy them, kill them, buy a new one. That's what I say.
No, they're not dying. It's still alive. It's just not growing. And then a Monstera siltepecana.
Like $14. It's expensive for that.
Well, I got all of these for $50, and they were listed for $15 each. So you do the math, boss. Hello, folks. It's a couple of days since I filmed my last clip, which I believe was showing you the houseplants that I got off Facebook Marketplace. Love them. They're thriving. But I do want to change their planters and put them in actual planters, because right now they're just in like plastic cups. And so I ordered some stuff off of Etsy, and those will come in the next couple of days. I'm not really sure. So until I get those in, I'm just kind of halting and waiting off on decorating more of the bedroom. And just because I'm kind of procrastinating it, honestly, it's just really, really hard to find a good time to work on the bedroom, because it's like, is she nursing? Is she asleep? She's spending a lot of her time like in there, you know? So I'm like not really always wanting to get the hammer or the drill out to hang things, but we just need to like dedicate a time during her wake window where both of us are just up there hanging stuff to get the gallery wall up. But for right now, she's still in the bassinet anyway, so it's fine that the crib is just housing all of our gallery wall art still. I think it's just better for everybody if I just show you the finished product rather than being like, I'll do it tomorrow, you know? Anyway, I'm currently at the thrift store, Experienced Goods, in town. I love this place. They have really, really good stuff, and I just donated a bunch of really good stuff. So if you're in the area, shop here, shop local for the holidays. That's my big pitch this year. You gotta put the money back in your community, hun, okay? Amazon's not gonna miss ya. I'll probably do a handful of like local holiday shopping with you over December, but a couple of things today. So we just left baby group, hence why Corvidia is completely crashed out in the back seat. I also mentioned in this video that we took our Christmas card photos, and I have a box next to me of Christmas cards that need to go out, as well as Christmas cards I need to buy stamps for. And while she's asleep, I'm gonna quickly put stamps on all of them and then put more of those in the mail. So I'm gonna head to the post office after this, but I did just go through the box of my donations like while the guy came to grab the box. I was like, hold hold on one second, I gotta take a couple things out of here. And he was like, you're donating this stuff. Take back whatever you want to take back. And I was like, no, it's not for me. It's for the co-op, which is like right across the brook where I'm filming right now. There's like a brook in between, so I have to drive around in town to get there. I can't just wade through the water. But they are doing a coat drive at the co-op, so they just have like this big box there. When you're exiting the store, you can put coats in. So I cleared out, I think, 4 coats from my coat rack, and I'm gonna donate them there because we do have a pretty large houseless population in town, and people are cold. And there's not enough shelter beds. There's not enough shelters in general here. That's a whole other topic that I could talk about, the housing crisis, but not today, brother. Anyway, yes, I made the mental note when I went to the co-op last. I was like, if I have coats to donate, I'm just gonna bring them here. So I'm gonna go do that. I got the Christmas cards. I have to go to the country store and pick up 2 things that I ordered for Thanksgiving with my aunt and uncle. So I'm gonna go and pick that up because today when I'm filming this is the day before Thanksgiving, but this will probably go live either on Thanksgiving or maybe today, Wednesday. Just depends on the old sketch. This vid's already getting pretty long. Oh, also when I go to the post office, I just need to ship out my recycling of my bras, underwear, and socks. So the program I'm using, I'm gonna let you guys know like how I like it and stuff, but it's called Subset, and basically you go and you buy a shipping label. I think it's like a $5 deposit that you put down, and then it gets credited back to your account to buy underwear again from them. So it is kind of like you help the earth by recycling these clothes, but then also if you need to buy more clothes, then here you go, you know, which isn't great, but they do give you a discount for recycling. I think they give you like a 25% off or 20% off credit to buy new undergarments since you're getting rid of ones that probably don't fit or are, you know, dingy or something. But they accept from any brand in any condition. And yeah, I've had this bookmarked for so long on my laptop of being like, clean out your dresser drawers, get rid of this stuff that just you need to recycle to the right place. And they do have like an in-depth thing on their website saying how they recycle it and what they use it for and how they sort and all that kind of stuff. So I feel good about it. I'm gonna send all that out and then I'm gonna head back home, and I have to talk to Finley about what we're gonna do for Thanksgiving because apparently it's gonna snow tonight and we're driving to New Hampshire. So we might have to change some of our travel plans. Anyway, baby group was great as always, and we're gonna head on out there, get things done around town. My Christmas stamps have been acquired. Before this, I was just using my breast cancer awareness stamps. So cute. Winter whimsy. Last year I did elves, but they didn't have any elves this year. Okay, Christmas cards stamped and mailed. Clothing recycling sent off. Coats donated. Last thing on my list is to go and pick up my food from the country store. Also, I'm in cahoots right now, talking back and forth with my aunt on if we're gonna have Thanksgiving tomorrow, on actual Thanksgiving, or Saturday, due to the snow and travel. I just don't know. With a baby, we're just trying to be cautious, so we're discussing what would be best. Okay, I'm covering up the label on my squash because it has my contact info on it, but whipped butternut squash with sage butter and chocolate cream pie. The urge I have to just stick a fucking fork in here right now. My God, I want to do it so bad, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna wait until the big day. Whatever that day is. Also, when I went to go pick those up, I got a pesto wrap and I ate it on the way home, and I just got oil from the pesto all over myself. Why did I do that? Apparently I couldn't possibly wait until I got home. Anyway, I'm gonna end this vlog off here. I just will have more stuff to show you in December. Speaking of which, I am not doing a distinct schedule of uploading. Like, you can expect videos on these specific days for Vlogmas this year. But I will say this, I'm gonna be uploading more frequently in the month of December, okay? That's all I'll give you. You'll be seeing more from me, darling. It just wouldn't be holiday season if I didn't like film more of all of our holiday cheer. And we got some activities on the agenda with the baby. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a grand old time. And when those videos go up, you'll see them. That's all I gotta say. All right, when I'm not on here, I'm on Patreon. Patreon.com/Meghan Hughes is where all the cool kids are, honey. And I hope you have a lovely Thanksgiving if you celebrate, and I will see you in my next video. Stay smiling. Bye, y'all.